Picture this: a world where your every move, every like, and every private message is monitored, analyzed, and exploited, where your deepest desires and darkest secrets are laid bare for the highest bidder. This isn't some dystopian novel. It's the reality of Facebook, the social media behemoth that has its tentacles wrapped around 3 billion people. What started as a seemingly innocent way to connect with friends and family has morphed into a digital monster, feeding on our personal data like a ravenous beast. With each post, photo, click, we unknowingly surrender our privacy to an entity that cares more about profits than people. But the real scandal is what Facebook does with our information behind the scenes. In the shadowy corners of Silicon Valley, deals are made, influence is peddled, all at the risk of subverting democracy. The once trusted platform has become a breeding ground for misinformation, manipulation, and mind control on a scale never before seen in human history. As we peel back the layers of this digital onion, we uncover a web of deceit, a labyrinth of lies, and a disturbing disregard for the very users who made Facebook the powerhouse it is today. From data breaches to political meddling, the company's transgressions read like a laundry list of ethical violations, each worse than the last. But perhaps most chilling of all is the realization that we are not just victims in this twisted game. We are willing participants. With every status update, every photo upload, and every like, we feed the beast, fueling its data-hungry algorithm with our souls. So buckle up and prepare to have your eyes opened and your illusions shattered as we take a deep dive into the seedy underbelly of Facebook. This is no fairy tale, no feel-good story of technological triumph. This is a cautionary tale, a warning of what happens when we surrender our privacy and our power to the digital overlords who have billions of users in their clutches. The question is, are you ready to face the truth? Are you prepared to see just how far down the rabbit hole goes? Because once you do, there's no going back. Only forward, into an uncertain future where the lines between the real and the virtual are blurred beyond recognition. Once you take the red pill, you'll see the world where Facebook reigns supreme over the digital lives of a third of the world's population. Chapter 1. The 2016 Presidential Election. Facebook's descent into digital warfare. The 2016 presidential election thrust Facebook into the heart of a digital battleground, where information warfare raged unchecked. As the election unfolded, the social media giant found itself in the crosshairs, accused of enabling the rampant spread of misinformation and political manipulation. In a world where lies travel at the speed of light, false stories about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton selling weapons to ISIS spread like wildfire. These fabrications weren't just whispers in the dark corners of the internet. They were amplified across the news feeds of millions, shaping perceptions and sowing division with every share and like. As the dust settled on the election, investigations peeled back the layers of this online labyrinth, revealing a tangled web of Russian interference. A coordinated campaign to weaponize Facebook emerged, aimed at stoking discord, swaying public opinion, and even mobilizing real-world protests. By exploiting the platform's reach and anonymity, bad actors used social media bots and targeted ads to deliver their toxic payloads to the most vulnerable audiences. The revelation sent shockwaves through the nation, prompting intense scrutiny of Facebook's role in the debacle. Critics slammed the company for failing to curb the spread of disinformation, while defenders argued that policing content was a slippery slope towards censorship. The legal scholars and critics continue to argue this nuance tied to a law within Title 47 called Section 230, which provides internet service providers safe harbors to operate as intermediaries of content without fear of being liable for that content, as long as they take reasonable steps to delete or prevent access to that content. Essentially generally provides immunity for online computer services with respect to third-party content generated by its users. In the wake of the scandal, Facebook tried to save face, rolling out a series of measures to combat fake news. From partnering with fact-checkers to deploying algorithms to suppress misleading content, the company sought to regain the trust of its users. But these efforts only ignited a new firestorm, raising thorny questions about the role of social media in the political arena. Was it Facebook's responsibility to be the arbiter of truth? Or did this constitute an assault on free speech? As the debate raged on, one thing became crystal clear. The 2016 presidential election marked a watershed moment in our understanding of social media's power, its potential for abuse, and its policing over potentially malicious third parties, i.e. its users. The election exposed the dark underbelly of Facebook, forcing us to confront the harsh reality that in our quest to build a more connected world, we had unwittingly created a monster. As we grapple with the fallout of this digital disaster, we must remain vigilant and ask, are other forces trying to leverage our online communities for their own gain? The 2016 presidential election may have been a low point in Facebook's history, but it also serves as a call for change. But it was only just the beginning of the new age of social media, where the line between truth and fiction is quite murky. Chapter 2. The Cambridge Analytica Scandal, Facebook's Data Nightmare. In 2018, Facebook found itself at the center of a colossal data scandal that sent shockwaves through the digital world. The culprit? Cambridge Analytica, a shadowy data analytics firm that had managed to get its hands on the personal information of a staggering 87 million Facebook users. But this was no ordinary data breach. Cambridge Analytica had used a sneaky tactic, exploiting Facebook's very lax data-sharing policies to harvest user information through seemingly innocent personality quizzes. Unsuspecting users had no idea that by participating in these quizzes, they were not only giving away their own data, but also that of their entire social network. With this massive trove of personal information at their fingertips, Cambridge Analytica set out to do the unthinkable. They analyzed the data to create hyper-targeted political ads, all with the goal of swaying voters' opinions in elections all around the world. It was a chilling reminder of the power that data holds in the digital age. When the scandal broke, Facebook users were outraged. They felt betrayed by a platform that had become a daily part of their lives. The backlash was swift and fierce, with regulators and lawmakers from around the globe demanding answers and calling for stricter safeguards on user data. Faced with a PR nightmare, Facebook was in damage control mode. CEO Mark Zuckerberg was hauled before Congress to face the music, and the company made many promises to tighten up its data-sharing policies and increase transparency with users. But for many people, it was too little, too late. Countless numbers of people were exploited, and the scandal had exposed the dark underbelly of the tech industry, raising serious questions about privacy, consent, and the ethical use of personal data. It was a harsh reminder that in the world of social media, we are not just users, we are the product. The fallout from the scandal reverberated far beyond Facebook. It sparked a global conversation about the power and responsibility of tech giants and the need for stronger regulations to protect user privacy. It was a wake-up call for users too, reminding us that every click, every like, and every share leaves a digital footprint that can be exploited by those with less than noble intentions. The Cambridge Analytica scandal may have been a low point for Facebook, but it was a turning point for the digital world as a whole. It forced us to confront the uncomfortable truth that in the age of big data, our personal information is a valuable commodity and one that must be fiercely protected. As we navigate the ever-evolving landscape of social media, the lessons of the Cambridge Analytica scandal remain as relevant as ever. We must remain vigilant, demand transparency, and hold tech companies accountable for the power they wield. Only then can we hope to build a digital future that puts the privacy and well-being of users first. Chapter 3. Meta's Dark Secret: Ignoring the Cries of the Vulnerable. In 2021, the Wall Street Journal dropped a bombshell. Journalists uncovered internal documents revealing that Meta's safety team had repeatedly flagged incidents and warned executives about child exploitation enabled by their platform. Despite these urgent alarms, Meta allegedly prioritized growth over addressing this horrific issue. This disturbing discovery raised serious questions about the tech giant's commitment to user safety, particularly for its youngest and most vulnerable members. Meta's apparent lack of action after such grave warnings suggested a troubling disregard for the well-being of children on its platforms. The revelation served as a wake-up call, underscoring the dark side of unchecked digital expansion. It highlighted the critical need for tech companies to prioritize user safety over profits and growth. Meta's alleged failure to act on these warnings stands as a sobering reminder of the high stakes involved in managing a global platform. As the world becomes increasingly connected, these types of scandals force us to confront the moral and ethical responsibilities of tech giants. It demands that we hold them accountable for the safety of their users, especially children, the most vulnerable to exploitation and harm. Chapter 4. The Human Cost of Facebook's Flaws. Behind the shiny facade of Facebook's vast online community, a darker reality has emerged, one where users feel exposed, exploited, and emotionally battered. This isn't just a matter of data breaches. It's about the real people whose lives have been upended by the very platform that promised to bring them closer together. In the shadows of Facebook's digital empire, privacy breaches have exposed users' personal information, cyberbullying has run rampant, and the pressure to maintain a picture-perfect online presence has left many feeling more isolated than ever. The psychological toll of these digital interactions cannot be overstated. Numerous studies have revealed a troubling link between heavy Facebook use and increased rates of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. The platform's tendency to foster comparison and envy has eroded real-life relationships and amplified feelings of loneliness and disconnection. Moreover, Facebook's history of security lapses has eroded user trust. Massive data breaches have exposed sensitive information like email addresses and phone numbers, leaving millions vulnerable to identity theft and scams. In one crazy incident, hackers exploited a flaw in Facebook's code to gain access to user accounts, underscoring the fragility of our digital identities against cyber attacks. These stories, while representing only a fraction of Facebook's vast user base, paint a disturbing picture of the unintended consequences of a platform that has become deeply ingrained in our social fabric. They serve as a stark reminder of the power that Facebook wields, not just to connect and inspire, but also to harm and exploit. As we navigate the complex landscape of social media, these cautionary tales demand our attention and action. We must remain vigilant in protecting our privacy, supporting those who have been victimized by online abuse, and holding platforms like Facebook accountable for the impact they have on our lives. The human cost of Facebook's flaws is too high to ignore. It is a call to arms for all of us, users, advocates, and policymakers alike, to work towards a safer, more compassionate digital world, where the well-being of individuals is prioritized over the relentless pursuit of growth and engagement. Chapter 5. Meta's Subscription Tool facilitated child exploitation on Instagram. Meta discovered that the subscription feature on Instagram was being exploited by some parents who managed their children's accounts. These accounts often featured young girls in bikinis or leotards and attracted a predominantly male audience with sexual interests in children. Although the content did not contain nudity or explicit illegality, some parents were aware of the potential for sexual gratification and engaged in inappropriate conversations while allowing their daughters to interact with sexually suggestive messages from subscribers. Meta's failure to implement crucial safety measures for children from the outset allowed adults with harmful intentions to create or assist in managing profiles for minors. The company's system inadvertently recommended these child profiles to individuals suspected of such behavior. While not all parent-managed accounts aimed to attract the wrong attention, Meta's system ended up promoting them to the wrong audience. Despite the availability of potential solutions, such as banning specific types of subscriptions or closely monitoring accounts with child-oriented content, Meta opted for an automated system to block harmful subscribers. However, this approach was not foolproof and could be easily circumvented by creating new profiles. As Meta focused on expanding its subscription and tipping services, the problem worsened, particularly with the misuse of the Gifts feature. The company's inability to effectively address this issue highlighted the urgent need for stronger safeguards to protect children on the platform. Chapter 6. Facebook's Pandora's Box of Scandals. Facebook's online empire has been plagued by a series of scandals, primarily stemming from the misuse of user data by third-party apps. These apps harvested personal information without explicit user consent, leveraging Facebook's vast sea of data and used it to manipulate users. The impact of these scandals was felt globally, from the United States to the Philippines, Brazil to Myanmar. In some cases, the platform was used to spread misinformation and hate speech, fueling violence and division. Facebook became a tool for complex disinformation campaigns designed to influence elections and undermine democracy. The need for regulation posed a significant challenge for policymakers and the platform itself. Balancing free speech protection with the prevention of harm proved to be a complex issue. Facebook found itself caught between public opinion, government oversight, and ethical responsibilities. As Facebook grapples with these challenges, its future remains uncertain. The platform must decide whether to strengthen its commitment to user privacy, combat the spread of misinformation, and rebuild trust with its users, or continue to struggle with the consequences of its past issues. The story of Facebook highlights the immense power of innovation and the responsibility that comes with it. The platform's response to these crises will not only shape its own future, but also set the course for the digital age, with far-reaching implications for democracy and personal privacy. Chapter 7. The Social Dilemma. The Social Dilemma documentary exposes a disturbing reality. Users are the product, not just the consumers. Social media platforms, much like the drug industry, are designed to be addictive, using algorithms that capitalize on our attention. This digital environment is saturated with fake news that spreads faster than the truth, prioritizing profit over ethics. Our online experiences are shaped by invisible algorithms that create personalized realities, often at the expense of a broader understanding. Social media platforms have hijacked the dopamine rush associated with social interactions, keeping us hooked on a cycle of likes and shares. We are unwitting subjects in a massive experiment, our behaviors and preferences constantly monitored to drive growth. The social dilemma challenges us to confront our digital addictions and the privacy we've sacrificed for the sake of connectivity. It serves as a call to action, urging us to reclaim our attention and question the virtual world we have created. In today's digital age, tech companies and social media giants wield an unprecedented amount of power and influence. With billions of users worldwide, these platforms have the ability to shape public opinion, sway elections, and even alter the course of history. As we navigate this rapidly evolving landscape, it's crucial that we demand transparency, accountability, and ethical practices from these behemoths. We, as users, must remain vigilant and engaged, questioning and challenging the status quo. It's up to us to push for change, ensuring that innovation never compromises our fundamental rights and freedoms. The challenges we face are complex and ever-changing, requiring collaboration, creativity, and adaptability. We invite you to join the conversation and help shape the future of our digital world. Together, we can write the next chapter of this story, one that puts the power back in the hands of the people and ensures that the benefits of technology are accessible to all, without sacrificing our most cherished values. The future is ours to shape, and it starts with each and every one of us. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more investment. Grade news.